known as Girly Girl Style, and today I'm joined by a special guest.
Oh. Hello.
Wait, why do you look so much shorter than me?
Because you're sitting on your haunches.
Okay, I'm sitting on my feet. He looks short. He's actually like 6 feet. I was gonna say you're 6 feet taller than me. No, he's 6 inches tall. Are you 6 inches taller than me?
You're 5'4"?
I'm 5'4".
That'd be
8 inches taller than me. Anyway, rewind. Hello, and I have asked the amazing Bill to join us today in a video that has been much asked about by many of you, and that is about cleaning shoes. So the reason I've asked Bill here today, he is, my partner in crime with everything that I do, and he does a lot of the cleaning aspect of the items that I bring home, and shoes is a big part of that. So I have asked him here today to walk us through some of the things he does to help clean up these shoes for all of you out there that purchase from me, or those of you that are just resellers in general, or maybe you just buy shoes and you want to know how to clean them up. All right, we'll give you some tips. So hello, and thank you for joining.
Not a problem. Good to be here.
Buying used shoes is a thrill. They are one of the top items that we actually sell in our Poshmark closet. So I really love picking them up. Now, of course, if they have major damage to them that aren't salvageable, they go right back. Or we get them home and realize that a zipper is broken on a pair of Tom booties that I just bought, and they go right to the donation bin. But if there are things that we can salvage and fix, then we certainly do. Now, first thing that I am going to have Bill share with us is the tools of the trade. So some of the tools that we both utilize for making sure that those shoes can get to that acceptable standard of clean. So let's take a look at some of Bill's favorite tools and why.
Goo Gone.
Goo Gone.
So sometime during this little video, I'll show you why this is going to be what she uses to do the same job.
But so tell us a little bit about Goo Gone. What do you use it for specifically?
If you don't go to the bins and you go to a regular thrift store, they always write the price and the size on the sole of the shoe. This is what you use to get it off with. And maybe stickers on the inside if they still have stickers on them, like the size or whatever. Absolutely.
And it also works on stickers on the bottom as well. So it is a very universal tool. It can be used for bags. A lot of these tools that we use can be used for bags. So that's tool number 1. What's tool number 2?
Leather cleaner and conditioner. Shoes, bags, anything that is actual leather that don't need a ton of cleanup. This also works great, and it softens the leather as well.
And the thing about this one, this is Zepp brand.
Yep.
So it prevents drying and cracking, which is great for leather. Also, it smells really good. A lot of leather cleaners and conditioners, I read reviews online, and they say that they have a really chemical smell. This just smells like leather, and I really enjoy the smell of it. We picked this up at Home Depot, but I'm pretty sure you can get it on Amazon and throughout.
Yep, Target I think sells it as well.
So, good tool.
Doc Martens Blunder Balsam. It's got like linseed oil, coconut oil, beeswax. Good for after you've already cleaned and conditioned. If you actually put
there we go,
that on it to finish, it just kind of brightens up the leather, shines it up a lot, and it also helps soften.
Yeah, and it does come with a little sponge, so it really is a nice tool. I have been using this for a very, very long time. It's kind of my magic tool that I use for most things. Before I ever discovered the leather cleaner, this is the only thing I used. So this definitely recommend. What are some of these other?
So every pair of shoes that we send out, don't know about everybody else, but they do get deodorized. We hose the inside down and they smell nicer than you don't want to smell.
Exactly, and they disinfect. The thing with this Lysol spray, it reminds me of bowling and how after you turn in your shoes, they spray them all down and there's a fog of spray all over the place. But super important, especially if you're going to just buy them for yourself. Yeah, you don't know what kind of germs people have on their feet. So kill those bugs, use the Lysol. Speaking of killing bugs, I want to show a tool that I use that Bill does not use this tool, but I have found this very useful. These are the Disinfecting Wipes from Clorox, and they have the micro scrubbers on them. The reason I do like these is I tend to use these to clean the bottoms of soles that do have writing on them. Now, Bill uses the Goo Gone, I use this. We're going to compare in a little bit so you can see what the difference looks like. This, keep in mind, really is for just synthetic soles. We're not talking about leather here. Leather is a little bit of a different animal. You don't want to destroy leather with like Clorox wipes.
Or Goo Gone.
Or Goo Gone. We don't have any, I don't see any here because we don't have a lot of soles we have to clean up, but sandpaper, fine grit sandpaper will work to get off some of the writing on the bottom of leather soles.
Or one of those green scrubbies used for dishes, the real rough, almost not Brillo pad, but the rough green scrubby, just a little bit of water does the same thing as sandpaper does.
There you go. There you go. So now...
Sharpie, you must have a Sharpie at all times because sometimes a shoe will have a little bit of damage on the heel. Black Sharpie, no damage.
Yes, just be careful. There is a tip that Bill uses when he's using
the fine point one. Don't get one of the big ones.
Oh, I wasn't talking about that kind of tip. I was talking about an actually like tip on how to make it look like you're not using black Sharpie.
Oh, yeah, well.
The type of tip of the marker. But
that would be it. Shoe polish.
Shoe polish.
And it actually worked on stacked heels, which I was not sure it was going to, but it does work.
Cool. But yeah, so if you're using a black Sharpie for whatever, cleaning in a something that's come off of the blackness of the sole, but you might need to use some of the shoe leather, what is that you just pointed out?
Oh, the polish.
The polish as well, just to make sure it looks even and not like you did cover up just a little splotch. Show this little cool toolkit. Hold on. My feet are falling asleep. That should be on. So show this toolkit. Ouch.
So it's got a little bit of everything in it. Of course, a suede brush, some Gorilla Glue. That dry L is not for shoes. And then
it could be. You could just use the dry
shoe
L.
polish, a little brush to get inside between the sole and the actual shoe, dirt and grime, and a little magic eraser, which also works
suede.
On suede.
Yep, it's a really good suede tool. So I think a lot of these are tools, and you showed this brush right here.
Yep.
Love this. If you don't have one of these, I say get one immediately. This is another tool. If I only ever had these two tools, I think that I would be okay, and maybe the Clorox. But this tool right here is for leather and suede, so it actually has a bristly brush here.
Like copper in the middle of it.
Yeah, and then this also helps to clean the suede. I really love this brush. Really love it. So I think those are the tools of the trade.
Well, at least the everyday ones.
And
a toothbrush with a little water. Also for the in between the sole in here where they're, people going to step in dirt, mud, whatever. A little water and a toothbrush and a rag. Easy.
Yes. And you may think it's not a big deal to have a shoe that has dirt on the bottom, but I'm going to tell you, if that makes a difference between $5 and not getting an extra $5 because you have a clean sole, just do it. It takes 2 seconds. Yep. Not a big deal. Okay, so let's start with, I want this pair first. We buy a lot of leather shoes, and when we're out sourcing, just leather tends to keep its shape, it tends to last for a long time, but it also tends to wear. So let's just show, I want to show specifically what's wrong with these boots in a number of different ways.
Dirt and grime.
So dirt, and was there dirt on the bottom of the sole too?
There's always dirt on the bottom of the sole.
Okay, so that's not a big deal. It's just dirt, right?
And the leather. There's a little, right around the toe. If you can see that.
And then also I want to show these gorgeous, and these are just Vince Camuto, by the way. I mean, not that you care. You're watching this for shoes. Why? Can you pull that curtain? I'm wondering why there's this. There, that's better. But these have the brown and the black, and they're gorgeous, but the brown just looks a little dull, so we definitely want to brighten that up. Now, I think we may have already sprayed all these down with Lysol, so we're not going to bore you with that piece of it. But we will take a look at cleaning. Well, the tools. So what is the first thing you would do if you had this pair of boots that I handed you and said, let's clean those puppies up? What would you do?
Probably get the dirt off first.
Okay,
because you don't want to polish a turd, as it were. So.
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Can you hold it?
That's probably going to get muck everywhere. So toothbrush, just in there. Make sure you get it all. And if there's any residual water, just take an old rag and...
Okay, so it's good that you're doing that first so that you can go back through with the leather cleaner or the balsam.
No more dirt in there.
Nice.
And actually for the bottom, I'm just going to dip my towel in here. And you could do this in the sink too, but since we're not by a sink.
No.
And the biggest spot you guys want to worry about is right there in between the heel and the sole, because there's always dirt in there.
Yeah, so get yourself a little toothbrush.
Yep.
Next time you go to the, oh, and I just noticed that heel.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Next time we go to, or next time hopefully I don't go to the dentist with you, but next time you go to the dentist, when they give you a free toothbrush, if you usually say no, say yes.
And then there's no more dirt.
Ow. I have to sit. I'm sitting on my feet, and now my feet are asleep. Oh, there we go. Much better.
All right, so all the dirt's gone. No more dirt.
Okay, so after the dirt is removed, what is the next step?
I'm gonna clean them with the conditioner first. I use the wax at the end just to finish.
See, and I would use the wax only.
No, because there's still dirt on there, so you need to clean them off first. You don't want to, if you put the wax on now, you're just gonna basically end up rubbing that dirt into the leather, and you don't want to do that. I mean, these aren't $1 million shoes, but.
Ooh, it's shining them up already.
Plus, you want to do this before, if you have to put any shoe polish on them, because the shoe polish won't get in there if you do this afterwards. Basically defeating the purpose of it.
Okay. It smells so good. So, see, leather. I mean, you can't smell. It's not smell-o-vision, but it smells really nice.
Should be. Yep.
Okay, so let's see comparatively so far. I mean, I don't know if you can tell a difference. I can tell a huge difference.
You can get just these part up there. Hopefully you guys can see the difference. I can.
Oh, I can see the difference in the black already, and then also the leather. Okay, cool.
So, and then for the toe, those little scuffs. Hopefully you see that. We're gonna bust out some shoe polish.
So you're going to grab that shoe polish, just the little black shoe polish. Oh, by the way, this little kit that Bill showed you, I got that at the Dollar Tree. So they had it on like the back wall, and it was just a kit with like black and brown and then a rag in it. For $1, sure. It really is just used for shoes. So why not?
Well, you don't have a million things in a million different places, which helps. So you're just going to rub those scuffs there. They're not going to be perfect, but
no.
I mean, they're used shoes.
Now, do you put that black shoe polish on the heels as well to brighten that black up?
Yep, always.
Okay.
Try not to use the Sharpies basically for emergencies.
Yeah, I've used the black Sharpie for a number of things, like on purses. If you have a black leather strap that has a tiny little, like, discoloration, I'll use that. I'm always very reluctant, though, because if you can tell that you used a black Sharpie, then you just ruined the whole thing. So just being very mindful of that.
Yeah. So then you just want to not too much pressure. You can, because you don't want to rub the wax in. You kind of just want to, well, you want to rub it in, but real light.
So we can see the difference really well. Oh, pool noodles, by the way. If you don't have pool noodles for your boots, you're missing out. This time of year, especially, it's so great when you go to the Dollar Tree. You can get these pool noodles and just cut them in half and use them inside of boots to help for photographing, as well for me, for my own personal use, for storage. So that's always good.
Well, except you put the pool noodle in the boot I'm working on, which isn't going to help because I need my hand. You freak. All right, so last thing after the...
You use a lot of that.
Well, it's going to be on the whole shoe.
I've never used that much. I've only used ever a tiny little bit.
No, because then you buff it out.
No, it's not. You're not supposed to buff that out.
Mm-hmm.
That's just supposed to go right on.
Yeah, but you buff it out.
No,
Yeah.
not that. The thing about the balsam is that you literally just put it on, one and done.
No, you're supposed to buff it out. You need to read the
You
instructions.
spend a lot of time on this.
Yep.
Ow. How do you sit on your legs?
Shoes are number one.
Ouch.
Well, for a lot of the time.
Oh.
But yeah, the one goes a long way. So yeah, it takes a little time, but hopefully you guys are at least getting some idea of what goes on before you either purchase boots from us or you're going to clean them up for yourself. Like I said, in the long run, it's a better product. Yes, everybody knows it's used, but they don't have to look used. Oh yeah, for the little...
This is another tool. I didn't include it in the shoe tools, but this is something you should have in your entire reseller kit. And it is just a pair of tiny little snippers, tiny little scissors, so that you can get the little threads that hang off of the boot. So for this pair, I can see a number of little threads, so I'm just going to trim those puppies up.
Just talking about those little guys right there.
Are these boots done?
They're done.
All right, put the noodle, and let's compare the two boots. Okay, so here we are with the two. Here, you're going to have to hold so we can put it up to the camera.
Let's see if you guys could tell which ones got clean and which ones didn't.
I mean, it's very obvious as you turn them around. This one's dull, and you can see that it's not like shining, and this is dull. And then
so hopefully,
yep, so that's one. And then the little things, because you can tell with the other one, all those little hairs are sticking up on this one. So, so that took quite a bit of time, but oh yeah, I mean, you can really tell. I just want to make sure you can see the difference that it makes in that black leather. Like pretty over here, not pretty over here. Now this pair of boots, Vince Camuto, if, I think that because they have a little bit of damage to the heel, I didn't show you that part, but they have a little damage to the heel there. But they're leather and they're still a great style. I feel like
they're in good condition.
yeah, they're in good condition except for the leather. We'll probably get 25 for them with that condition. But if we hadn't cleaned them up, I wouldn't have felt comfortable selling them. So, so that is how to clean up a leather pair of boots. Now,
no, you're gonna get.
well, no, we'll do that last. Let's look at these. Now, I want to show you these boots these heels are gorgeous. They are suede. Suede, a lot of people hesitate to pick up because suede can get stains on it. It can get dull, but just knowing what kind of tools to utilize. Now, these are never going to be back to normal. You're never going to get that bright orange here, but you can brush them out. So, you're not sure what you're doing.
Oh. So, just with that little copper side, you just want to brush. Plus it gets all the, whatever the stuff people walked in.
Yeah, and I recommend with suede, no matter what, always utilizing this brush, even if you think it doesn't need it, because a little bit will help just refresh the suede for sure. Now, the side that he's using with the bristles will actually take some of that suede off. So if you're concerned about that, if it's kind of a threadbare suede, the other side of this brush is just the nubby plastic, and that will clean it without taking off. But in this case, we definitely want to dull it a little so that you can't really see the difference between the bright orange and the light orange.
That's probably going to be a problem.
Oh, yeah, because you can see all that.
Yeah.
No, so it's not going to be a problem. That looks good. So now there's a couple of hairs that we're going to cut off. But for this pair in particular, there's that little thing too. Yeah. What I want to point out is this. Bottom. So if you have a black sole.
Wow.
Do you have a black sole?
I do.
If you have a black sole, what tool can you use to refresh the sole? I'll give you a couple seconds. Okay, time's up. What tool do you use?
I use the shoe polish.
Oh, wrong answer. Your handy dandy Sharpie. Now, of course, I'm going to do a little bit of this. This is going to take a lot of work, and I need a bigger Sharpie, and I'm pretty sure I have a bigger Sharpie somewhere. But I mean, the soles really are just the soles, and a lot of people don't really even care, to be honest, what those soles look like. But one thing, if you are going to use a Sharpie to refresh the soles, do not get it on the suede.
Nope.
So make sure. My eyes are burning all of a sudden. But I'll just show you a little bit of what that looks like now that I can't see anything. Pause for a moment.
Yep. I'm missing hockey for this, folks. So I hope you're getting something out of it. Oh, Sharpie's dying.
That's what happens. Sharpie dies. I thought I had a bigger Sharpie.
It's dead.
Okay, close that one back up so we can get some. All right, well, we are going to continue to do this later. You can see the major, well, show the bottom of that one. So this is the major difference. I mean, you could just see that little Sharpie goes a long way. And again, it's just the bottom. So you're not really trying to change the outer. It's just to make it look a little bit more presentable for, I'm talking up there, you can't even see me. Presentable for photographing. So we'll continue to work on those.
Yep. So this is what we were talking about. Regular thrift store, Goodwill, Savers, whatever. They're going to do this 9 times out of 10.
Now this one's going to be a little bit harder because it's ridged. But it'll still work. So Bill and I are going to...
You're going to lose. This is what's going to happen.
We're going to have a little competition to see. I'm going to be using my trusty Clorox micro wipes.
Don't use that, people. After you watch this, watch.
So this is the micro side. Now, this isn't a speed test, by the way. This isn't a speed test. We're just going to see whose turns out better. So you saw what it started with. So let's... Feels like a competition.
Let's see. Do you remember what was written on the bottom of this shoe? I doubt it.
Me too! What? And it took about the same amount of time. Now... Darn it. I thought that I was going to be like, kill it, what? Okay, well, so you have 2 different options. If you do not want to use the Clorox gridded thingies.
And if you want your fingers to smell like Goo Gone.
Yeah, but who wants their fingers to smell like Goo Gone?
I don't mind the smell. It kind of smells good. And make sure you have an old rat. See, this thing's been through some shoes. And it's been washed.
A number of times.
Yeah.
Now I'm using the same one. This is a leather sole, and I'm actually using it on this leather sole because these shoes were not fancy.
Here, let me try.
And I'll show you. You want to wipe this off first? So you don't. I want to show what this did. So on this leather sole, it took it off a little bit, and if I scrubbed, I could absolutely, and plus I probably want to clean this all up. That's what this did. Let's see if this Goo Gone makes any more of a difference.
Doesn't look like it.
No. So on a leather sole.
Watch. Okay, you keep this in mind.
Where are you going?
Go get a scrubby.
Oh, a scrubby. That's right. He mentioned the scrubby. Okay, that
get cleaned with the Scrubby.
Oh, the Scrubby. Again, you can get those at the Dollar Tree. Lily? Yeah? You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Lily, come here. Come here. You're so tiny, no one can see you. Oh, there, look. Look over here. You look so tiny.
She's ready for dinner.
You just gave her dinner?
No, she's ready for it.
Oh. Hi, good girl. Yeah, good. She gets needy. When the two of us aren't paying attention to her, she gets so needy. She's like, why aren't you paying attention to me, Mom?
She doesn't like it.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And
That
sometimes
marker-
you just have to
that
suck it
marker
up and
must
say,
have been on there for a while, but
Much-
at least
it's better. So sometimes it takes a little bit of just elbow grease.
And I'm sure I can get that done.
Yes, but depending on how much time and effort you really want to spend.
Yeah.
So for something like this, for these boots, the brand is Vagabond. I don't even know what that brand is. They are leather, and they are a really good style for fall. So I figured that is probably a good amount of time. I mean, we might want to clean that up a little more, but really use your time wisely. You don't want to spend an hour fixing a pair of shoes that's only going to be worth like $10, right? Very important tip. So in a nutshell, ow, what are you eating? So we got Lil, scooch in here with me. So that in a nutshell are just some quick tips and tricks on how to clean shoes for either resale or for your own personal use. Just remember that there are a lot of tools that you can use. Watch a lot of videos online. We have our own ways of doing things just because it's what we're used to, but there's no right or wrong answer. There's just whatever you're comfortable with.
Absolutely.
Yep. And I will put a list of these items down below in the listing. I'm not sponsored or anything, but just so that you can know in one singular place what items we choose. And with that, any last tips there be?
Yeah, AIM toothbrushes. Great for shoes.
Well, we aim to make things better.
Oh my gosh.
Boom, boom, boom. So that is it on all of our fabulous cleaning tips for tools. If you haven't already,
subscribe.
Why?
In case you want to watch some more of this crazy whatever we're doing right here. Craziness.
Living the reseller life. So yes, don't forget to subscribe for any reseller related content
Thumbs
coming
up
up
as well, please.
Oh yeah, if
Much
you liked
appreciated.
it. If you liked what you did. And oh yeah, last thing, because we love sharing Posh love. If you have a Poshmark closet, you don't have to, obviously, to watch this video, but we're very active on Poshmark. So if you do have a Poshmark closet, leave your Posh closet down below in the comments, and we'll go in and share your closet. Also, if you have any tips that you want to share with the community, by all means do it. We will try those tips out. We are always looking for ways to make our life easier. Because if you're spending less time cleaning clothes, you're spending more time
steaming clothes.
I was going to say
photographing clothes.
Making the money. Anyway, all right, everybody. Thank you until next time.
See ya!